What happens during their Tiger Walk is they walk out those doors, they walk past fans, they walk down a hill, and then they enter Jordan-Hare Stadium. However, the event staff gave them no response when they asked why they were getting kicked out, and they were escorted down the ramp and out the back of Mizzou Arena. Garrett, Tristan, and their friend Hayden Lee were driving to a friend's house one night in January. They were traveling along this road when they went out to the side. Now, this is Missouri's first trip to Vanderbilt since 1957. That game ended in a 7-7 tie. Neither team completed a forward pass. Now, these two teams will do a lot more than that. They'll need help from the most unreliable expert in all of sports, the BCS. This is a 450-page document outlining the class action suit. As you can see, well, it's pretty lengthy. So I thought I'd simplify it.
If you have not noticed, the Missouri softball team is missing a key part of its offense. Emily Crane, the sophomore, sidelined with a sprained MCL. She is expected to return in about a week, but KOU8's Jack Wascher shows how during her recovery, Crane has developed a special bond with someone outside the game.
You have about 10 times.
No matter the situation, Cameron Shower's mindset is the same.
One of those kids that goes 100 miles an hour at 110% all the time. When she was little, I used to always say she was like Bam Bam. And so I would come with Cam Cam.
That constant energy doesn't stop, especially when watching the Missouri Tigers and her favorite player, Emily Crane.
She's a really hard worker, and all the time that she's on the field, she always looks like she's giving her hardest.
But on March 28th, Crane sprained her MCL going after this fly ball. Finding out she would miss 2 to 3 weeks, Emily needed something to lift her up. In comes Cameron.
They all lined up and high-fived us. Well, after that, she walks up to me and gives me TY Beanie Baby, and it's a tiger, and a card, and it says, like, I hope you get better. I can't wait to see you out on the field again. Love, Cameron, and my friend Tara. And it was such a cute little card. And so that whole game, I held the tiger. Its name is Oasis, and I was trying to make sure that I wanted her to know that I really appreciated it, and I wasn't just showboating it, but I wanted her to know that I really cared about it. So I was like, I'm gonna sit this tiger by me the whole game, and it really did mean a lot.
However, a day later, Crane found out young Cameron broke her arm in her own softball game, prompting Crane to give her a tiger that helped her get through an injury in high school.
She gave me this tiger, and I really liked my tiger that I had from surgery, but I was like, she needs this tiger more than me.
Did it come out? Just for a second, then went back in.
But instead of just sending the tiger to Cameron, Emily and her teammates made a surprise visit to the hospital with the tiger in what seemed like a dream to Cameron.
I thought I was asleep at first because of the medicine I was on, and I didn't think that they were really there. I was really surprised.
It was a moment that brought Cameron to a smile and a trip down memory lane for Crane.
And I just told her that, these girls look up to you guys. And I just thought that was awesome that they could do that for them, and that what great role models they are for the girls.
Growing up, you're that kid. You're the kid who looks up to everybody. And I always told myself that I wanted to be like those people. I'm just really happy to see that, the way that my little tiger helped me through my surgery 2 years ago is keeping a smile on her face. Because, it's tough, being a kid and you want to play. I want to play now, but it's different because they think it's the end of the world, and I'm just really happy that I could help in some way.
An incident like that can go such a long way with a young kid. It can touch them for the rest of their life, and I'm proud of her for doing it.
Makes me feel like I'm an important part of her life, like I'm really special to the team and stuff.
Resiliency is the ability to quickly recover from adversity. For the Elias Crusaders, it involved blocking out a lopsided loss to Webb City in last year's state championship.
We didn't win state last year, so I really wanted to come back and get that.
Garrett Bushos and Tristan Bax are two of more than 30 seniors who returned this year. For one last year under the Friday night lights.
I'd say the atmosphere. Your adrenaline gets going when you get a good play, and if you get down a little bit, you can get back up by making that next play.
The crowd, I'd say everybody just being there on Friday and Saturday nights, and then just me blocking for this kid right here.
But that time to shine under the Friday night lights almost never came. Garrett, Tristan, and their friend Hayden Lee were driving to a friend's house one night in January. They were traveling along this road when they went out to the side. They kicked gravel out onto the road. Garrett tried to apply the brakes, but it was too late.
We did kind of a Dukes of Hazzard thing and ramped off the guardrail and started, as soon as we hit the ground the first time, started to roll. And you know, it was a wild ride until we landed on all fours again and stopped.
We were probably 1 centimeter away from not even walking for the rest of our lives.
It's a miracle that nothing worse happened.
The three of them were able to get out of the car, but later Garrett and Tristan found out there was something wrong with both of them.
To realize that your child has such a severe injury was more than overwhelming for us.
Garrett and Tristan both suffered broken backs and necks. Tristan also had a broken hand and sternum. His parents say they felt like they were taking care of a newborn again.
I mean, obviously he's not a small kid. So taking care of him was not an easy task. It was something we gratefully did. I mean, I was so thankful. I mean, it could have been, we may not have had an opportunity to go to the hospital.
Tristan and Garrett fractured their C6 vertebrae, which is located here, about 1/4 of an inch thick, but it could have been a lot worse.
One way or the other, you know, paraplegic, or, you know, the doctor said, you know, if it would have went the other way, you know, massive heart attack. You know, that was probably the longest 24 hours of our entire life.
Doctors told him to take it easy, not something 2-3 sport athletes want to hear.
I mean, there were some evenings where we would just, you know, go to Dick's Sporting Goods so he could walk around just to, you know, get out of the house, because it wasn't something he was used to.
Doctors gave him the okay to play baseball in the summer, only 3 months into their recovery.
But immediately he said, well, what about football? I think we both held our breath.
Yeah.
We knew that baseball was a possibility, but we weren't sure that he would ever be able to be back on the football field.
He was just like, well, you can play football and start lifting. And just, it all lit up from right there. And you had, everything was looking forward, and it was just so good.
And it was such a difference in him. It was like night and day. You know, suddenly he was sitting a little taller, and the smile was a little broader. Yeah. There was a glint in his eye again, and from that point forward, we knew his recovery would be complete.
But Tristan wasn't the only one sitting taller that day.
I think when he got the word from the doctor, it was definitely a smile. He smiles all the time anyway, but there was a smile that you couldn't wipe off his face.
Smiles because they have a second chance at playing, and they won't let it go to waste.
Like, we knew we'd have a better team this year, so, like, I couldn't have missed it. It would have been just so terrible.
Could have not been playing sports anymore after that night, and I was just taking everything day by day and not looking too far into the future and living your life how you want it to be.
The Rockbridge Bruins girls basketball team captured its 3rd consecutive state championship last weekend and 4th overall under Coach Jill Nagel. KOMU8's Jack Wascher joins us here now live to tell us about one Rockbridge player in particular whose time on the hardwood looked numbered. Jack?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, how does one define success? Well, for the Rockbridge Lady Bruins, capturing 3 straight state championships is one way to define it. But what about coming back from something that many athletes pray they never experience? This is a story of one girl who went through just that, but never let it stop her. Injuries are a part of the game. You never know when they will happen. You just pray it'll never happen to you or someone close to you.
You know, you just can't put it into words what it meant to us to see her having gone through that and come out the way she did.
I couldn't be happier for this kiddo right here that's just gone through so much with more than any kid should have to go through. And she stuck with it and never lamented anything. And to be able to send her out with the state championship is pretty special.
She's talking about Bree Porter, a senior co-captain who scored 12 points in this year's state championship game for Rockbridge. But Bree's accomplishments go way beyond the box score. It's the fact that she's even playing, period, that's remarkable.
No one would fault her at all to just, let's just say maybe this isn't my thing and move on with life.
Throughout her high school career, Bree watched from the sidelines, not because of a lack of ability, but lack of a functioning knee. She tore her ACL not once, not twice, but 3 separate times, which pushes some athletes to the brink of hanging it up.
After the third one, I know there was a brief time where she thought, I don't ever want to touch the court again. I'm done.
I thought that all of that was just pointing to that I should probably be done playing, because I knew this would be like the longest rehab. I probably would never be full strength again, and so I was just really full of doubts. It took a while to get over those, but that was like the overwhelming sensation at first. It was just like doubt and like, I'm done.
But there was something special brewing at Rockbridge, and Bree wanted to be a part of it.
She came to me probably 2 weeks after I was certain that was the direction she was going to go and said, I have to talk to you about something. And I said, what? And she said, I'm playing again. And my heart just kind of went down to my toes and then back up, I think, because I couldn't even wrap my head around it for her at that point. And I just said, okay, I'm going to start praying now that you'll never have to go through this again.
Coming off the court with less than a minute to go, Bree felt happy and relieved. The girl who went through 3 ACL surgeries had doubts about ever playing again. Finally enjoyed firsthand a state championship.
It all hit me at once. Like, I made it through the season and we won state. Like, it couldn't have gone any better than it did.
Michael and I just grabbed each other, my husband, and it was a feeling that's indescribable to see her, progress through the whole year and then experience that championship together with her sister her senior year. It was incredible.
It certainly was incredible. Well, Bree will continue her basketball career next year at Missouri, where she will play under her Aunt Robin pension and also her father, Michael Porter.
History. In their way, the defending champs, Francis Howell. Here's Logan Tweehouse. On Monday, Kyle Teeter told me Logan football, Logan baseball. I guess he's good luck. Good luck, or maybe just good. Tweehouse doubles to right and doubles the score, 4-2 Bruins. In the fourth, Mizzou commit Connor Brumfield bumps the score up to 6-2, and the Bruins are on the verge of making history. And here's the final play of the game. Francis Howell flies it out. Connor Brumfield makes the catch, and that'll do it. 9-6 is your final. The Bruins are your Class 5 state champions for the first time in school history. And this time, Tweehouse didn't finish second.
It's indescribable, one of the happiest moments of my life. I'll never forget this. I just want to go get one in football now.
Cupid by its nature is an uncommon thing. Some people laugh at it. They don't understand. That's fine. Let them laugh. Because a Cupid can do anything.
Coach Arnell Monroe back on the Cupid sidelines. A tough opponent for senior night, Kansas City Rockhurst. And the Hawklets sacked Cupid quarterback Mason Murray 5 times in the first quarter alone. 35-yard losses total on those sacks. In the second quarter, Kai Kinchin, 7 yards into the end zone for the Hawklets. They led 14-0 at halftime. Kat Koenig is the homecoming queen for Hickman. And as we return to action in the third quarter, it was more Rockhurst. TJ Green scrambling, throws it deep. 52 yards to Mitch Copen. Rockhurst beats Hickman tonight on senior night, 21-6.
Have arrived. Tennessee receivers coach and recruiting coordinator Zach Azani getting a look at Rockbridge receiver Alex Afadale, among others. Rockbridge quarterback Logan Tweehouse out with a neck and shoulder injury, but with all due respect, the Bruins didn't miss him. Not tonight, at least. Hayden Johnson throws a 38-yard touchdown to Zach Reuter. Bruins up 7-0 early. Second quarter, Hayden Johnson runs for a 23-yard run to set up another Bruin TD that made it 14-3. Later, second quarter, Rockbridge with it again. Taurus Moore, 41-yard run, and that would set up another Bruin TD. Rockbridge led 21-3. Moore had more than 100 yards in the first half. Later, second quarter, Rockbridge quarterback Carson Ringdahl throws a 45-yard TD to Reuter, who had 3 touchdown catches, and Rockbridge wins by 30 points, ending Jefferson City's season.
To University Field we go. Casey Sagal, the freshman, on the mound for the Tigers. Bottom of the first, 2 runners on for Mizzou, and Mackenzie Sykes slashes one through the right side. That brings home Angela Randazzo, and it was 1-0 Missouri. More from Sykes later. Bottom of the second, runner on second for Mizzou. Sammy Fagan singles one up the middle. That brings in Taylor Gadbois, 2-0 Mizzou. Move forward to the top of the third. Georgia's Paige Wilson hits one to deep right center. That's good enough for a 2-run homer, and that ties things up at 2. Moving ahead to the top of the fourth, runner on third for Georgia, and they're going to get the sacrifice fly. Mackenzie Sykes' throw just a bit late. Bulldogs would go up 3-2, and that would be the score all the way until the bottom of the seventh. In the seventh, Taylor Gadbois leads off with a chopper over to shortstop's head, and then she steals second. She's a tying runner on second. Later in the at-bat, Angela Randazzo, she rips one down the left field line. That scores Gadbois, game tied at 3. Then, with runners on first and second, I said Sykes would do something, and here it is. How about a 3-run walk-off homer? Mizzou scores 4 runs in the bottom of the seventh. They win in walk-off fashion, 6-3. A big win for Missouri and head coach Aaron Earlywine.